Vishal, a very warm welcome to you to FAMSUN First podcast. Let me just clear the perspective, Vishal, what we try to do in this podcast. So, we try to bring learned people, very experienced people, just like you, leaders
Right.
from the industry, from different industries. And we try to take their knowledge, we try to understand what they understand about the industry, and we try to bring that thing on this FAMSUN podcast for our audience. That is what we try to do, right? Firstly, I'll request you to please introduce yourself.
Good morning. First and foremost, I'd like to thank FAMSUN for inviting me here in the podcast. I am Vishal Nirani, Managing Director, Nirani Sugars Limited, and co-founder TruAlt Bioenergy. I was born in 1997, and I started my journey with my education in Mudol, which is a small town in north of Karnataka, followed by shifting into Bangalore in my 5th grade into Jain International Residential School. I was studying there until my 12th. I finished my 12th in science and then moved on to do a tri-country course in mechanical engineering. This was in Australia, Singapore, and London. After I concluded that, I came back and joined in the year 2019. This was just before COVID hit. And after that, I had the opportunity to get into work on a full-fledged basis. I was given all the need work approvals to be done to start joining the business.
Okay.
I was heading the purchase procurement department, the sales and marketing department to begin off with. Slowly then took on more roles of accounts, finance,
Great.
as well in the sugar company.
I can see the company has been to multiple segments: agriculture, cement, ethanol, sugarcane to molasses. So let's try to focus in ethanol because that is probably I like to take the direction of our discussion. What I want to understand from you is, firstly, for the purpose of audience, could you simply differentiate between ethanol from molasses and grain? Because I believe now you're into both, right? So what is the basic difference?
So how molasses is produced, if you can go back and see, we make sugar from sugar cane.
Right.
Now, when we make sugar from sugar cane, the left out liquid, the solid liquid that we use, we put it in a centrifugal machine. In that centrifugal machine, we bifurcate the solids and the liquid. And this solid part, we then take it and convert it to sugar. The same liquid part which is left out, we convert it, that is called as a molasses. We use this molasses to produce ethanol by putting yeast in it. It's nothing like, it's the same way how we produce milk to curd in our home.
Is it?
The same procedure as we have fermentation.
Right.
We ferment this and then we produce ethanol, and we can also produce extra neutral alcohol while producing this as well.
So both of the things are byproduct of putting the yeast and molasses.
This is the same way we can produce in sugarcane syrup. Directly, we can take the syrup into the fermentation process and also be derived into ethanol. Exactly the same way we take the our grain-based products, be it your maize, rice, and various other commodities. We put it in and then we separate the glucose and fructose out of it and then convert it into ethanol.
Great. How do you see, because now I believe the government policies are in favor of what you're trying to achieve, and there are so many other companies also trying to get into ethanol business. The government policy is currently to achieve E20, and I think recently it's been achieved also this month only, right? Which was the target, I believe 2029 was the target.
2030
was the target. Right? So how do you see this policy affecting the industry, maybe positively or negatively, in the next 5 years? How do you see it?
So 2018 was the National Biofuel Policy, which was announced by the Government of India.
Right.
This is such a fantastic policy where they decided to target to complete by the year 2030, like you earlier said, which is already finished in 2025. The policy was so strong, be it your interest subvention at 4.5% to 5% interest, which the government is providing, be it the long-term offtake that the government is providing. This benefited the rural-most economy of our country.
Right.
Now, by having this E20 achieved in the year 2025, India has saved close to $4 to $5 billion of foreign exchange.
Is it?
And this $4 to $5 billion of foreign exchange has directly gone to the rural-most part of India, which the farmers are benefiting. Prior to this, the prices of maize was at 8,000 rupees a ton.
Right.
This is before 2019. Today, the prices of maize, which the government has announced a minimum support price, is at 24,000 rupees a ton. This is 3 times the price 6 years ago, which the government has drastically changed the farmers' income.
Two things are here. I want a little more clarity. So you said under subvention scheme, things are being getting benefited, right? So it's around 4 to 5%, maybe 6% in certain cases. For the benefit of audience, how this subvention scheme, anybody who want to get into this kind of ethanol business is benefit. How should he plan this subvention scheme? How it is benefiting?
The interest subvention scheme, however, now is completely over.
Is it?
This was there earlier before when they were setting up the plant, when the government had a target to achieve the E20. But unfortunately, this interest subvention is no more there. To set up an ethanol plant is a highly capital intensive thing. So having this subsidy by large benefits the plant in a much, much larger way.
So if somebody new, anybody who want to get into it, so what do you think is the right approach he should have? Can he avail the scheme? No. So what is the kind of budget he has to keep in his mind now, because the scheme is not there? And what could be the minimum capacity?
We believe that the minimum capacity should at least be a 200 KLPD plant, which
Like
then can be
KLPD full form would be?
kiloliters per day.
Okay.
200 kiloliters per day.
Okay.
Which you can say about 2 lakh liters of ethanol per day. Now, this being said is majorly because to be completely competitive and to be price driven, this capacity needs to be achieved. The major portion that needs to be checked is the capex that is going into it. You need strong technology providers, be it like FAMSUN. This will help you achieve the capacity and achieve your cost in a much efficient way. They should also study existing facilities like TruAlt Bioenergy or any other company which is at a large scale, understand how they are doing, and then try and plug in those models into their system. And also try and learn from those companies which have failed, why they've failed and what could be the reason, to ensure that they don't get into that.
What are the challenges when somebody, or maybe when you entered, what were the challenges? If you could name top 3 challenges which you faced while you wanted to set up grain-based ethanol plant.
So when we wanted to start grain-based ethanol plant, the cost of steam efficiency was extremely very high.
Okay.
Now the steam efficiency has come down a lot. So the older plants were at a much higher steam efficiency. The power consumption was on a much higher side of it, which the power consumption has now come down a lot. There wasn't much of automation into the plant. Automation has now come into the plant. And we believe that soon AI will also come into the plant where they will run and operate the plant for us in the near future.
One point you touched upon was the farmers' benefit because of the higher MSPs which government offering to the farmers, especially for the maize you highlighted. But the other industries are not getting much benefit, or probably the stock is coming from other industry to this industry. And I believe the ethanol value is also higher than molasses if you make from maize. What is your perspective about this situation?
So the earlier price for ethanol from maize was started at 51 rupees a liter.
Yeah.
Today we're standing at 71 rupees a liter.
Correct.
This is the push from the government which wants to increase the capacity of maize to ethanol. The major reason is sugar, when it's being converted to be produced as ethanol, we have less production of sugar, which increases the prices of sugar.
Okay.
While maize, if we divert maize to produce ethanol, there are another such industry which uses maize is the cattle feed industry. This animal feed industry, at a large perspective, when we produce ethanol from maize, we get something called as a DDGS.
DDGS. True.
This DDGS can also be used in the animal feed industry at a much cheaper price than what they're presently getting the maize at. So hence what the government decided is that it is much more beneficial to have maize to ethanol, which will also benefit DDGS for the animal feed industry, while we also produce ethanol. And India has a self-reliant energy of its own.
Correct. But the other industry, other segments probably might face certain challenges because the stock is moving to ethanol industry. Do you have any perspective about it? You think that could be reduced, or there are other the bypass strategies, you think?
See, when we started our sugar plant,
Yeah,
we started with the 500 TCD plant. Today, we, in one of our plants, just to give you an example, today in that same locality, we have started a 26,000 TCD plant. And just within 20 kilometers of radius, we're producing 80,000 TCD of sugarcane per day. Now, the surprising matter was when we were all setting this plant up, we were worried where the cane will come from. Surprisingly, when the prices shoot up so much, when it is beneficial to the farmers, they will grow maize, which will benefit even the farmers, even the animal feed industry, and even the ethanol industry.
So farmer will shift to the maize.
To the maize production.
True. I agree. You talked about efficiency in the plant. You also talked about in future probably you'll see a lot of things changing, maybe AI also coming. Can you help us understand how these equipments, good equipments rather, how one can choose good equipments who are more efficient, especially for the ethanol industry? I'll try to request you to focus on the grain-based industry a little bit more.
In the beginning, when we buy the grains, we need a compatible silo where we can store the grains for a much longer period, where it does not catch moisture. So we need to ensure that the equipments that we purchase has a long-term durability of at least 25 or longer than 25 years, so that there is no rusting inside, which affects the maize quality, which then also affects the aflatoxin levels in DDGs, which is extremely harmful for the animal feed industry. That is point one. Second point is, while cleaning of this maize, we need to ensure that the rocks and the other equipments that come inside are removed in a complete systematic manner. There are a lot of equipment manufacturers who have a lot of the same equipment, but the removing and cleaning aspects of each and every equipment are completely different. We need to analyze which is the most efficient one and then choose that one. While we go to the milling section, we need to also ensure that the granules that is being broken down isn't broken down in the systematic manner as well, and in an economical and efficient manner. So efficiency would be the key to set up this entire plant and understand per liter of alcohol what would be achieved in each and every different section. Example, let us take FAMSUN for an example. What would be the cost of conversion if we take FAMSUN? What would be the cost of conversion if we take Raj? We need to analyze all of these columns and then make a decision of which would be the most steam efficient manner, which would be the power efficient manner, which would be the highest yield producing.
So for the simplicity of everybody, what metrics shall we follow? What are the metrics which somebody could follow in order to choose the right equipments?
Three things. One is the steam efficiency. Second is the power efficiency. Third is your ability to clean and ensure that aflatoxins don't move on to the DDGs for it.
Price is not a challenge.
Price is also a challenge. While we can say that economically fit is also the major concern. While these are the major aspects of it.
Okay, great. In the beginning, you talked about your journey, right? Now let us try to understand your vision. What is the Nirani's vision in next 3 to 5 years? Where do Nirani sees as a group in ethanol industry in next 3 to 5 years?
So in ethanol industry, what we intend to do is we are already sitting at the 2 million liters of ethanol production per day. If the government's demand increases, we will set up more ethanol plants to meet the requirements of the government in the 1G sector of it. We're also working very closely in the 2G ethanol, from bagasse to ethanol, where we will be producing everything from bagasse. We have already shifted of our 1G ethanol from sugar and molasses derivatives to grain-based derivatives. 65% capacity, which from 2 million is 1.3 million liters already shifted. We intend to shift 100% capacity to multi-feed stock. And while we produce ethanol from sugar and molasses, we get something called as a spent wash. Presently, we are spending about 1 rupees a liter to give the spent wash to the farmers on free basis, which helps them increase their crop growth pattern. Now we are setting up compressed biogas plant, which is increasing our revenue, which was expense of 1 rupees per liter. Now we have a revenue of 8 rupees per liter. We have set up one such plant in our facility, and we have successfully done everything over there. We had a lot of trial and errors in the beginning. We have come across all the challenges and successfully achieved 8 rupees per liter. We intend to set up such compressed biogas plant everywhere across 17 such units. We intend to set up 100 new fuel stations, retail fuel stations in the country, pan India. We have already set up 5 such fuel stations. This is a forward integration plan. We also intend to set up a sustainable aviation fuel plant
Okay.
in the year 2028.
Okay.
We are also in discussion with Honeywell, which we have just closed down on.
Okay.
This is our future plan for the TruAlt Bioenergy Limited.
Wonderful. Right. So you explained about 1G and 2G. Right. Firstly, for the benefit of everybody, if you could help us understand what is 1G fuel and what is 2G fuel, that is one. And why this shift is happening.
1G fuel is your basic sugarcane syrup, your molasses,
Right.
your maize, wheat, your rice. This is called as 1G ethanol,
Right.
which is the first generation ethanol.
Okay.
2G ethanol is your second generation ethanol.
Right.
This is using bagasse or bio waste. So let's say now we have issues in the Punjab, Delhi region where they're burning the crops. Instead of burning the crops, we can take this crop and get it converted to ethanol.
Okay.
That is the future where we see it. Today, it is not yet techno-commercially viable. However, we believe in the days to come, it will be techno-commercially viable. Cost-wise, 1G ethanol is much more efficient compared to 2G ethanol.
Okay.
2G ethanol, as of today, is extremely high on capex. And to break lignin and hemicellulose activity
Right.
in the bio sector is extremely very high.
Great. I believe now we are at the end of our kind of discussion. I want to understand, recently you put up a plant with FAMSUN, right? We have interaction with us and we signed. I want to understand why you chose FAMSUN as your partner, one. And how do you see partnering with FAMSUN helps Nirani in achieving what you want to achieve in next 3 to 5 years? How do you see that partnership going?
One major reason why we started doing our collaboration with FAMSUN was we tried and studied Brazilians' production of ethanol because they're the largest producers of ethanol. And we studied the American production of ethanol. Then in Asia, we learned that China is the largest producers of ethanol. We went and tried and studied a plant called COFCO, where in COFCO, we understood that they're using FAMSUN and Buller. We understood from Brazil and America that FAMSUN, Buller are one of the topmost players that you should choose from. In China, when I, in fact, went there personally into the plant called COFCO and studied which would be more efficient, we understood that FAMSUN has much more competitive advantage because they have a larger mill capacity compared to that of anybody today in the world, where they're achieving 25 tons per hour capacity, while other competitors are still at 15 and 10 tons per hour. So this edge of additional 25 tons helped us choose FAMSUN better. And they're also very competitive in the pricing compared to their competitors and peers.
Wonderful. Wonderful. If I say somebody has to understand 3 top metrics to work on if they want to choose a new partner, what those 3 metrics should be while deciding whom they should partner with?
One is your steam efficiency, fuel efficiency, the price, what prices each and everybody is giving, and how on a long-term basis, what would be your return on investment compared to if you choose with FAMSUN, Rajeshcheck, whoever it may be, what is their, with these efficiency parameters, you can draw down your ROI, return on investment. Using this return on investment, you can decide who's your right partner.
Wonderful. I have a lot of things in my mind, but I believe we're short of time and you have actually wonderfully explained everything, I would say. It was a fantastic talking to you, really. And I wish that once the plant has been set up, probably we can have another discussion and we can further understand how things are working for you. Maybe we can have further understanding about where the industry is going from you.
Would love to. Thank you very much for your time.